Hey folks, this is Texas Paul. I want to congratulate you on a great election. It has been one for the record books. If you are a politico and you follow elections, you'll see that this just doesn't happen. I mean, it's really phenomenal. Um, we have had an election that should be breaking just hard the Republican. The needle is pointed hard to the Republican in this midterm. It just historically always is. The party in power loses state legislative seats. The party of power loses governorships. The party of power loses House seats, Senate seats. It's a rough year for the party in power in a midterm election. But didn't happen this year. Didn't. There was a nationwide trend that moved that needle from over it here with Republicans, pushed it over to Democrats. Why? What happened? I mean, that's the amazing part. That's the part that you just don't see it happen. Why? Why did it happen? Well, we know. We know. We know that it was the old adage, it's the economy, stupid. Pretending the economy's bad will not help you in the ballot box. The corporate media, even getting on the train with you and saying, "Oh, the economy's bad." When the numbers are real and people are really working and there are really jobs out there and people are really making money, it doesn't matter how much you say it's not happening. It's happening for people, and they're going to vote based on that. Then you had Roe. Huge societal shift will always move that needle. And when you have a bunch of old men deciding for women of all ages what rights they can and cannot have, that moves the needle. It does. Gen Z turned out like crazy over Roe. You had basically women of all ages, except for the subset of married women, broke hard for Democrats over Roe. Then you had the Republicans shoot themselves in the foot and say the quiet part out loud when it comes to Social Security and Medicare. They told us they're going to, at minimum, make it a weapon so that every year or 2 years they can force us to continue on with Social Security and Medicare. They can whittle away at it and force us to give goodies to their rich donors, which historically we know that's what they always do. Whenever they have anything that will hurt the American people, they blackmail Democrats into giving them tax breaks or whatever for their wealthy donors. And people are tired of it. People are just tired of it. And it showed in the numbers. It pushed those numbers over to Democrats. And it was just amazing to see. Gun violence, that was another one. People are tired of gun violence. It's just gotten old. It's not debatable for Democrats anymore. It's just not. Republicans have been living off that old trope that Democrats are going to take their guns away. We've got gun cabinets. We've got gun safes. We're not going to take anybody's guns away because we're not giving ours up. But we do believe in common sense gun safety. We do. We do believe if you should at least be 21 to buy a weapon. You should. They're not toys. Democrats believe that. They went to the polls based on that. All of these nationwide trends we saw that were just amazing that put the wind at the sails to Democrats. And what's the result? We're going to pick up a seat in the Senate, it looks like. All the ballots that are left out there, it's just, we're going to pick up a seat in the Senate. We've picked up governorships. We've picked up state legislative seats. It's just been amazing. And the House is looking like it's going to be Democrat +1. Congratulations, folks. It's incredible. Now, public service announcement. The election's not over. There are still cured ballots out there. In most states, you can fix a ballot that has been rejected. folks, a lot of these races, take the Colorado 3rd, Lauren Boebert. She has, I mean, that race is really close. Adam Frisch is within hundreds of votes of her. You know, you need to cure those ballots. And if you don't know what that means, is that if you submit a ballot and it's rejected for whatever reason, screwed up address, screwed up signature, whatever is the hang up that caused them to reject that ballot, you can fix it and get your vote counted. And there are thousands, tens of thousands of these votes out there. You know, and with races so close, get out and cure your votes. But let's get back to talking about the election. I mean, it was amazing. But there were problems. Miami-Dade in the state of Florida did not go from being a Democratic stronghold to a Republican stronghold. There were shenanigans down there. There were. And I know people are going to say, hey, you can't say that. That's election denial. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's no conspiracy theory here. It's looking at the numbers. Like in Ohio, Trumbull and Mahoning County, you know, you're talking about Warren and Youngstown. Those moved from being Democrats being 52 and 55% of the electorate, respectively, to being 33 and 34% of the electorate. That doesn't happen. That doesn't, and people are going to scream, gerrymandering. Well, it's gerrymandering, stupid. Well, no, gerrymandering doesn't affect county results. Gerrymandering only affects district results. A statewide race, like for Senate, like Tim Ryan, he did not lose Trumbull and Mahoning County. It didn't happen. Those are blue strongholds. And suddenly they shifted 20 points for Republicans? No. There's no legitimate reason you can give me for that happening. All the reasons out there, all the prevailing winds are blowing behind Democrats. They're in our sails. What could you possibly say to justify that kind of shift? It doesn't happen. And in Texas, you know, you could possibly say candidate quality, maybe. But Tim Ryan was a strong candidate. In Texas, we had another strong candidate. You know, for you to believe the results in Texas, you have to believe that Lupe Valdez here pulled in the same votes as this guy. I mean, you've got to believe that she pulled in 30,000 more votes in his hometown than he did. I mean, I don't have to tell you this guy's name. You know who he is. And you know what his hometown is. You don't even live in Texas. That's candidate quality. And you know how stark the reality is of the candidate quality difference from 2018 to 2022 is? That's not Lupe Valdez. You had no idea. That's just some abuela that I found on the internet and used her picture. That's Lupe Valdez. And you couldn't pick her out of a lineup. And you're telling me she performed as well as and better than this guy in Democratic strongholds? No. And that's before you get to the shenanigans in Harris County. You know, there are millions of votes in Harris County. I mean, it's a huge city. That's Houston, Texas. It is huge. It is a Democratic stronghold. They had voting machines shut down for not having paper. They they had polling places open late. They had one thing after another. So much so that the judge said, "Hey, yeah, we need to let them keep voting because we took away their right to vote. We need you to fix the problem and then give them additional time to vote so that everybody can vote. You took their democratic right to vote away by not opening the polling places, by not having operable equipment. You owe them that. You owe them the democracy. And what happened? Republicans said, no, 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 no. Those people vote Democrat. They are not, we're not counting their votes. That really happened, folks. One judge said, hey, yeah, give them the time to vote. Republicans said, no, no, that's not happening. So, yeah, I'm not offering you a conspiracy theory about this. Let me give you an example. If you came home and your front door was open, is there a crime? Is there something going on? You don't know. You know, I got people trying to tell me, say it's the voting machines, say it's this. I'm not going to say a damn thing that I don't know is true. I'm not. I don't know if it's voting machines. I don't know if it was voter intimidation. I don't know. I know it wasn't gerrymandering because these results I'm looking at are by county and statewide races. Gerrymandering doesn't affect that. People don't move. County numbers change by only a handful of digits every year, every election. And we have results that just don't make sense. So I'm saying the front door's open. What do? We take a look. And people are going to say, oh, well, you're being an election denier. No, I'm not. What makes our democracy strong is it survives scrutiny. The reason our democracy is so strong is it's really hard to cheat. And when something isn't right, like the results in Texas, Florida, and Ohio, it stands out. Now, look, folks, we had Republicans screaming that elections were stolen. And we said, okay, do an audit, recount the votes. Some cases, they recounted them twice. They took voting machines out in the woods and tore them apart. Not even exaggerating there. I'm saying, let's have an investigation. Let's at least do for ourselves what we would do for them. At the end of it, there's nothing wrong. You know me, folks. I love facts. I love the truth. If there is nothing wrong in these states, I'll be the first one here telling you. Why? Because if there's nothing wrong with the numbers in these states, then there's something really wrong with us and we need to fix it. And we fix it by talking about it. So yeah, let's have this investigation. Let's find out why numbers that are impossible in an election that is trending for Democrats, because I don't know how to make it more clear. Friends don't care about your invisible border. They don't care about your made up imaginary border. They don't. They didn't change when they hit the state of Texas. They didn't change when they hit the state of Florida. They didn't change when they hit the state of Ohio. Not for Democrats, they didn't. And that's the important part. These numbers I'm talking to you about, I'm not even talking Republican versus Democrat. I'm just talking about what did Democrats do in an election that encouraged Democrats to vote, where Democrats turned out in every state of the union but a handful. Let's look at it, folks. I love you. Go Texas, Paul. Enjoy your victories.